So now we're going to build on that, and we want to use a form, but we want to apply an array and a for loop in using this form. So again, we're going to copy and paste everything that's here. It's a little bit more complex. And this one is going to be in form 2. And this one has the form set up where it's going to accept 3 names. So just 3 names. I have 2 sisters, so I'll put in my name and my 2 sisters' names and submit it. And what the script is going to do is it is going to evaluate the number of characters in each name. So in here, I've got the script, and just a reminder, these slashes here, these 2 slashes, these are comments. So they just give you comments to help you understand the script. But this one is doing the on submit of the form, do this function. It's taking the elements from the form, their values, and putting them into these 3 variables now that we can continue to use in the script. And what I have done is created an array. Remember, an array is a list, and that list can actually have variables in it. They don't have to be existing strings or numbers. So now each name is now in this array. And I can now use a for loop to go through the array one by one and evaluate how many characters, what is the length of each item in that list, each name. So in this case, we're going to set up the for loop with an initializer, I equals 0. That's just the iterator that it's going to go through, as long as I is less than namelist.length. So namelist is an array. And if you recall from our previous lesson, the length of an array is actually the number of items in the array. This array has 3 items. So as long as this is less than 3 items, as long as I is less than 3 items, it's going to keep going through this list. When it gets to the end of the list, no more items in the list, it will stop. And it's going to increment that every single time it goes through. So it's going to do 0, 1, 2. Okay, now it's greater than the length, stop. And every time it goes through the list, it is going to change the names in our HTML, this that we have up here with the paragraph, and it's going to create a statement that has whatever the word is, so the element in that index for name list, so whatever the first name is, has how many characters in it. Now this is the individual element, so name list with I is either name list 0, 1, or 2, so it's evaluating each name. And then it has words that it actually concatenates with it. I know this is getting confusing, and we're actually applying a lot of different things on this script, but this will allow you to see how all these different things operate, how we're using length and a for loop and arrays all at one time in this script. So let me run it. This one's called form 2. And in this case, like I said, my name is Cindy. And I have a sister named Jen, Jennifer, and Judy. And let's evaluate these. And it says Cindy has 5, Jen has 3, Judy has 4. I should point out, in the script, I use this plus equals instead of equals, and that actually appends to the names instead of replacing it. And that's what we needed it to do, that every time it went through the list, it was going to make this statement. That's the end of this lesson. I do have 3 exercises here for you to work on once you understand each and every one of these. And these are things that I'll give you time to work on in class as well and as homework for the following week. So the first exercise is for you to add a calculation that adds up the characters in the 3 names. Somehow you need to have it go through the 3 names. We already know the length of them. That's being passed into the loop every single time. How would you add those up? And what do you need to do up here in the HTML to be able to spit out a total of some sort? And I'll show you how that works because I have one that is ready. That works this way. And if I put in the 3 names again, Cindy, Jen, Judy, and hit submit, I have some text down here that's waiting for this with an empty space in it, and really you could have anything down here. If I submit it, it says the names have a total of 12 characters. So I added a line that would allow that to be spit out, and if we add these up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, that's correct. The next exercise that I want you to do then is to modify the code yourself to add an if statement that adds an asterisk if the name has more than 4 characters in it. You'll probably need an else statement to also handle it if it doesn't have 4 characters. So think about how that will work. And then modify the code so that the user can input a number of characters to evaluate. So instead of checking for 4 characters, it will check for the number that you indicate. Don't get too frustrated by this. I want you to think through the algorithm of what might need to make that happen. When I do these things, it takes a lot of trial and error. I go through one thing and it doesn't work and I have to practice it. The main thing to remember is don't give up, and there is always an answer. There's always a way to do something. It's just your ability to problem solve through that. So I have some more information down here about the DOM, the document object model, and there are some links here that can take you to some more information about the document object model. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move into looking at doing a more overall interactive quiz and some more advanced calculators, and then we're going to do a comprehensive interactive charting exercise.